No? Just turn the middle on?
Yeah.
Well, that sound, but I won't pick us up.
Until it's ready.
Okay, are you ready to go?
Yep.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to the Protective Services Committee meeting for today, November 21st, 2024. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Legislative Council, can you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Legislator Adnizio.
Present.
Legislator Sage.
Present.
Chairwoman Nasarino.
Present. Agenda item number 3 is acceptance of the Protective Services meeting minutes for September 12th, 2024. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Let me just get my papers here. Moving on to agenda item number 4 is approval budgetary amendment 24A 113, Sheriff's Department overtime reimbursement from the Crisis Intervention Team, Training and Drug Recognition Expert Annual Conference. Undersheriff is here with us. I think this is pretty straightforward. This is incoming money. We received $22,500 for the CIT training reimbursement, and for the drug recognition expert, we received $20,902.50. And the request is from Sheriff to put these funds to be used to cover overtime expense. Any questions from the committee? Any questions from any legislators? There being none, I'd like to make a motion to move this to audit. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agenda item number 5 is approval budgetary amendment 2014-406. This is finance legal aid adjustment appropriations through year end, quarter 4, 2024, 18B claims. This is in the amount of $125,000 with fiscal impact, since it's being taken out of contingency of $125,000. But this is necessary, and we are obligated to meet these needs. Is there any questions or comments? Any other legislators? There being none, I would like to make a motion to move this to audit. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item number 6 is approval application New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services FY 2024-25 Hazardous Materials Emergency Preparedness HMEP grant. I don't see the Commissioner Robert of the Bureau of Emergency Services here with us tonight. But again, I believe this is pretty straightforward. This grant is a total of $16,000, and there is a 25% matching in kind that will be used for training and exercise. This is a one-year grant. You all have to back up. Any questions or comments? The committee feel comfortable moving this forward?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I do. Okay.
Legislator Yaki?
In the back of it says that the applications are due by October 17th, which was a month ago. Is it possible that they already applied and they're just, it's on page...
Well,
it's-
that might be the case, being we were tied up in budget through October, and the approval is needed, but I'm just speculating when I say that.
Can we send a memo down just asking if they met the deadline? I have no problem approving it, but...
Absolutely. Okay. Diane,
Yeah.
at the request of Legislator Yaki, I concur and send a memo to Commissioner Lipton to ensure that this is met.
Okay. I'm sorry. I would also like to make a request that in the future, if they're going to request approval for a grant application that somebody from the department show up.
I agree, and Commissioner Lipton is usually very diligent about attending our meetings. I did not speak to him today, but I think that's something that we should definitely stick to across the board within the county. If anybody has anything on the agenda that needs to be addressed, they should be here. I agree. But I'd look to you to carry that out since I will not be here in 2025. There being no questions or concerns, I'd like to make a motion to move this forward. Also contingent upon receiving the memo from Commissioner Lipton.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda number 7 is an FYI Fund Transfer 24T385. This is District Attorney's Office to cover the cost of replacing all laptops to keep up with discovery demands. This is just an FYI, and there is no fiscal impact. Moving on to number 8 is an FYI. It's the coroner's report for 2024, cases by quarter. This is for legislative review. Any questions or concerns? There being none, I'd like to move on to other business. And there being no other business, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
My last protective meeting and my...
No, it's not. You had one in December.
Oh, I had one in December. I thought I hit the record for the shortest meeting.
That was pretty good.
That's right.
That was short, but it's
I
not
was
your last.
impressive.
No, it's not. I stand
Got it.
corrected.
Evening and welcome to the Health, Social, Educational, and Environmental Committee for today, November the 21st, 2024. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Legislator Crowley, will you please lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Legislator Crowley,
Present.
Legislator Goulman, Chairwoman Sage.
Present. Okay, item number 3 on our agenda is a discussion regarding the Stabilization Center for Social Services Commissioner Sarah Servadio. Please join us. We've been talking about this for quite some time now, and we just wanted to get an idea of where we are in the process, since this is using ARPA funding. And the deadline is coming up pretty quickly at the end of the year to uncover this money, so we just wanted to get an update.
Yeah, for once I feel like I have really good news.
Oh, good.
So there's been a lot of movement over the last month with the Stabilization Center. The approval was received from the Health Department and the DAP for the septic repair, which is great. The permit was issued on that. The contract was fully executed today. All signatures were received.
Today?
Or obtained today. So that's exciting. I am told the funds are now fully encumbered for ARPA purposes.
Wonderful, thank you.
It's good, right? So, People USA is working out some contingencies with the lease, about the lease with the landlord, so hopefully we will have a signed lease shortly. So there's an existing tenant that they are in the process of evicting, so. And regarding the Carmel Town Planning Board, it looks like it will be a few more weeks before they're able to put the package together to submit. So hopefully, within the first month or two of the new year, I'm sorry, I don't know if they meet in January, so the first few months of the new year, they'll be able to present to the planning board. They are also, they're currently very aggressively recruiting for the positions at the Stabilization Center, so they have the director hired. So she's been hired for a while. She's been participating in meetings within the county, which is great. She's becoming involved in being introduced to the different entities. So she's going to start up the mobile crisis team as well. So she'll have dual roles. So it's very exciting.
That is exciting. That's the most activity we've seen on this project for quite a while. Is there an issue with the planning board that you foresee? I mean, do we have any idea? I mean, obviously we don't know what they're going to say or do, but I mean, what are the, what would happen if something didn't go well with the planning board? I'm just curious about that.
I know that the county executive has spent a lot of time speaking with the elected officials in Carmel. I also have been included in some of those conversations. The county executive remains very optimistic that there will be no issues with the planning board.
That's not guaranteed, but Legislator Crowley.
I just have a question. If there are issues with that, and then the lease isn't signed, where do we end up? And there was a contract signed, but how does that work?
We've talked about what we would do in that event, because you're asking me directly.
Sorry, I just figured it was kind of the elephant in the room.
Look, there's always the possibility that that will happen. Of course, we've been thinking about it, we've been talking about it. We are very aware of other locations within the county. We haven't, respectfully stopped looking. We've also looked into other models of stabilization centers that aren't necessarily a brick and mortar. So it would, that would lead to its own set of issues we would have to navigate because it doesn't exist. So we would be starting from creating literally a policy within New York State.
Can I just take a second? Through the chair? Sorry. No. So if that happens, then would we still be able to use the ARPA funding if it was a different model, or would we lose that?
My understanding is that the ARPA funds are identified for crisis services, so it would still, actually, I'm probably not the person to answer that question.
So legal, so we would defer to the legal
You would
department, so
defer
maybe
to
we can
legal,
send out,
yeah.
if everybody's comfortable, send out something to legal, just asking hypothetically or speculatively if that was the case, are we safe in this current situation, or would we lose out on the funding?
Or they go through finance or Jen Caruso.
Yeah.
They would be the ones to
Yeah.
follow up with that, I don't think.
That would be the ARPA committee, right?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
whomever, just,
Legislator Nasarino.
So,
In that same vein, we have to commit to the ARPA funding by December 31st. And the planning board is not going to consider till 2025. What effect will that have? Because that's been the rule of thumb the whole time. And how do we alleviate or really remedy that if you're not going to have anything conclusive by December 31st? How does that affect this ARPA funding?
I think maybe this is something that we can write a letter to
I'm
the,
sorry, I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah.
I think
maybe,
Well, if it's through the same project, maybe they could just, if it had to be a different location,
Yeah.
and it was the same project, maybe it's possible that it would be able to, swap.
Well, I think it's a good sign that the contract is signed,
Yeah.
because then you could apply the monies, and we were discussing this the other night as well with Camp Hurlett, and what was said, and I don't know if it holds true in this case or if it's applicable in this case, but if both parties then dissolve the contract, mutually dissolve the contract, it can be reallocated. So maybe that's the same, should that be the same scenario, that's, could be feasible. I think I just answered my own question.
You did.
Still better job than I did, so.
But just thinking about that, but it's
Yeah.
so important because this is a big amount of money that we're committing
Of
to,
course, yeah.
but we
Yeah.
still don't have anything conclusive to hang our hat on. The execute contract really is a big thing, and I'm very, very excited to hear about that. I also, for a long time, we've been discussing this stabilization center, and it really is crucial, and I'm really happy that we're nearing fruition with the plan and realizing that this goal, because it really will well serve the people of Putnam County, and it's so vital, so very vital.
Legislator Crowley.
what's holding us back from getting on the planning board meeting on the 12th of December?
I
For Carmel.
believe,
The agenda already went out through the chair.
No, for December, 12th of
December.
December. Yes, that's the next planning board meeting for the town of Carmel.
they are just waiting on, their engineer is doing his calculations. Once that is received, please don't ask me what that means.
So
They're,
engineer,
the engineer for people is gathering all of everything that needs to be submitted to the planning board. Unfortunately, there was a delay with the septic, there was, a delay with the contract, so all of the delays, I asked specifically for a December meeting, because I didn't know if there was a January, and I was just told it would be in the new year.
okay, so we don't think that People USA, sorry, through the chair, People USA the engineer can get it prepared by the 12th
I
of
don't
December?
believe so, but I will ask them again tomorrow on that.
Okay,
So
perfect.
the planning meeting the planning board is December 12th?
December 12th, yes.
I'll ask them again tomorrow.
Because then it would at least give us a little bit more time to reevaluate what we're looking at before, something
Yep.
kind of falls through.
Of course.
Any other legislators have questions or comments? Anyone from the audience? Jennifer Cassidy, come on in. Welcome, so good to see you.
Thank you for having me. I have good news too.
Oh, good.
Yay.
Let's hear it.
All right, so this is a very recent opportunity that came to us. We are members, at the Historian's Office, we're members of Greater Hudson Heritage, and they are a network of consultants, and they distribute grants as well for things like conservation. Last year, they had some great opportunities through, and I attached the information about this grant opportunity. It's called Save America's Treasures, and it is partnered with the Historic Preservation Fund, administered by National Park Service in partnership with National Endowment for the Arts, National Endowment for Humanities, and the Institute for Museums and Library Service. So this means it's big time. It's federal funding that's coming not necessarily coming our way, but it's giving us an opportunity to conserve something, that's the key word, it's conservation. And it has to be something on the national level. And the one thing that came to mind, and you know, we have a lot of paperwork in our collection, but what does the county own? But we own the Sybil Ludington statue on Lake Oneida. And that statue is significant nationally for her story, which is elevated over the past few years, especially as it was featured in Smithsonian Magazine. And her story's making its way into textbooks, things like that, and she's on her way with the Daughters of the American Revolution as well. So she's significant. The statue is significant nationally because it was sculpted by Anna Hyatt Huntington, who's a sculptress of note, an American artist. And so this is coming to us, the real great opportunity is, it's no county money. It's a grant opportunity for Greater Hudson, and they need 10 groups, organizations, to apply for this federal money. And if they get approval, which is why I'm here tonight to talk to you all about it, to get the legislature's approval to put the county's name with Greater Hudson to say, this is one of the projects that we may be able to get money for. So is it a big, we won't get the money, it doesn't come to us, it would go to Greater Hudson, and then they would pay conservators that would come in and do the work on the statue. And I say work, we're talking about erosion elements, you know, of the environment, whether it's cars or weather, whatever it may be. The girl needs some work every so often, so so it's a win-win-win situation for us, and it came up just very recently. That's why this is kind of, I had to get it's onto the agenda. This document says that the deadline was for the 18th, and that was just for interest. They've extended it until tomorrow, so I'm here tonight asking for approval, not asking for money, I'm just asking for approval to say it's okay to put Putnam County with Greater Hudson's name.
So what is the county's involvement other than just applying our name? Do you physically have to apply for the grant, or does it go to the Greater Hudson and they apply for the grant with a group of people attached?
That's a great question. So Greater Hudson does all the paperwork. They've been through this cycle once before and had a successful cycle. Boscobel over in on the other side of the county, they had Major John Andrade's flute conserved, which is very, I mean, it's interesting, it's national. So, but that was little stuff. Now they're opening up to bigger because they got a whole lot more money opportunity for them. So they apply using our name and about 9 other organizations. They get the funding to hire the conservator or the parties that would be involved in whatever conservation efforts that they would deem appropriate within reason. So let's give an example of if it's $20,000 grant that Greater Hudson gets, it would be $10,000 towards conservation efforts, $10,000 in-kind administrative work between my office, Greater Hudson's office, the conservator, their efforts and things like that. So does that answer that question?
I think so. And then so the remaining $10,000 grant money that's not administration would go into the projects.
That comes from the national
And that's
parks.
so those, I'm just trying to understand the grant. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's great.
It's almost too good to be true, right?
So that, so the 10 organizations would split the
Yeah. It
the
would
remaining.
be divided up by Greater Hudson, depending on what the scope of the different project would be.
And do
And
we know
there's
what the
no
other projects
guarantee.
are?
I'm sorry?
Do we know what the other companies or the other organizations are?
No. I have a call tomorrow morning at 10:30 to discuss how this goes.
Yeah.
And then we'll see. It's worth a shot, in my opinion, to be included in it. And if we don't get it, it could be denied through Greater Hudson. If we don't get it, we'll be having a different conversation in the future about what
we
our
can do.
responsibility is to take
Right.
care of the statue as well.
Wow, that sounds great. Any questions from the committee? Any of the legislator Anazio?
Okay, thank you. I just have a question. Who up till now has been taking care of the statue?
Well, here's a quick history lesson, right? And think about where it is. It's on DEP property, but the county takes care of the ground, so we are essentially taking care of the statue.
Because there was a time when you would see there was something come out of its mouth. right?
Yes.
Yeah.
She did have a little
It was
foaming at the
rust
mouth issue.
foaming at the-
Yes.
I think they
That
redid
was
it
a
since
number of
then.
years ago, and that was corrected. That was like some fault of the foundry process of when they were making
Oh,
the
was
statue
it?
itself,
Okay,
but she's
okay.
looking good.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Legislator Nasarino.
I think this is a great opportunity, and I think, you know, we as a legislator and the county embrace all grant opportunities. They're all good, and it's, you know, whether or not they are realized, but it's always that, you know, the opportunity to apply. So I really think that we should seize that moment, and this is a great endeavor. And I just want to thank you for all the work that you do, and you are just
Thank you.
fabulous. And you have really raised the bar in the county historian's office, and you're so proactive in all that you do, and you do a wonderful job. So I commend you and your staff.
Thank you,
It's
yes, I
really
don't do it alone. I really
Yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Legislator Elner.
I'm all in favor of giving Sybil a spotlight. And I'm glad that she had some dental work done in the past. But this is a great idea. Are you limited to only one submission?
No, not necessarily. If there's another, tomorrow's the deadline, so that's one thing to think about.
Would our courthouse next door have any application? Because isn't it one of the oldest, if not the oldest in New York, and it goes back to some.
That's a
National
very,
time.
very good point, but that may be too big. I would have to check. The idea that even the sculpture will be considered had to have a conversation. And they said that, yes, a county office that has a sculpture, it's okay. I think when we talk about buildings, it's kind of a whole other game.
Project.
And I will admit that this grants, it's out of my wheelhouse. I have next to no experience with grants, and so this is an exciting undertaking for me as well. So I hope to learn and grow from it, and
Maybe start something wonderful.
maybe,
Yeah.
don't hold me to it.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Anybody else have questions? Yeah, I think it's a great, but, yeah.
Come
I
on
can't wait to
down,
come back. I can't wait to come
anytime,
back, yeah. Yeah, Legislator Crowley.
I'm not gonna keep you till the end of the meeting, so I just wanna say thank you for something else. You've been working a lot on the signs and throughout districts, my district specifically, so sorry it's a little off topic, but
No worries.
I appreciate all your communication back and forth. The residents have been thrilled.
Good,
And
good.
thank you again for everything that you're doing to preserve our natural history and our history that we have here at Putnam,
Yeah.
so thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you.
Okay, with that, I will make a motion to approve the grant proposal for the partnership with the Greater Hudson Heritage Network.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Fingers crossed. Thank you all so much.
Good luck
Have a good
tomorrow.
night.
Good luck. Godspeed.
Okay, so item number 5 is an approval for a fund transfer for the health department for preschool care at private institutions, something we see quite a bit on the health committee.
Hello.
We have with us our financial manager, our fiscal manager, Bill Orr. Welcome. Do you want to talk about preschool?
Yeah, I think I was here last month asking for money for the same, so it's the same reasoning here. But we have 6 transfers or budgetary amendments on the docket here, and all of them, just to let you know, are fiscal impact 0. These are just transfers or raising revenues to the same amount. So as I go on, it's not going to be any impact to the county. So do you want me to go over kind of everything again that I did? I mean, basically we have 15 more kids at $48,000 per child. You know, we got more money, but then there's also, the state is increasing the rates for these schools too, in the range of $1,000 to $4,800 depending on the school. So there's all things happening there, and I'm just trying to get the money in there to make sure we make payment to the schools.
Okay. Anyone have questions? Any legislators? Okay, so there is, it's the total amount of $190,000. It's part of paying our bills here in Putnam County and supporting our school children. I will make a motion to approve this fund transfer 24T through 87 for the preschool care at private institutions. There a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, number 6 is...
Same case, we're down 3 nurses. Overtime is coming in a little heavy. heavier. So I'm just making this transfer to make sure we have money till the end of the year.
And zero fiscal impact.
Yep.
Okay, so I will make a motion to approve fund transfer 24T391 for the health department to go to audit.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 7 is approval for budgetary transfer for the health department for the increased cost of preschool 3 to 5 program. This is in the amount of $70,000. No fiscal impact. I'll let you just embellish a little on that.
Yeah, same as before. It's more money to the pre-K private institutions, and we're getting it from Medicaid. Our Medicaid has increased over this year, so we're able to increase the revenue there, the budget, the revenue there, and the expense.
Okay. Pretty straightforward. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, there being none, I will make a motion to approve this fund transfer for preschool 3 to 5 program. Budgetary amendment 24A112 to go to audit.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to agenda item number 8. This is approval for a budgetary transfer for the Health Department for the New York State Department of Health's Local Health Department Performance Incentive Program Award. And it looks like we are receiving a grant from the state of New York, is that correct?
Yes, the Health Department receives an annual award, it's annual, to participate in the Performance Incentive Program. This year's award, it can be anywhere from $15,000 to $30,000, depending on what they give us. This year's award is $20,099. And this year's award is based on participation in promoting wastewater surveillance. So we can use that money for anything that's Article 6. Article 6 means anything that's reimbursable, okay? So I went through our accounts, and to help us with the things we need, we're replacing conference room chairs, okay? That is line the 6100 there. These are items that Dr. Mike and the group of managers all got together and decided that was the best thing to do for the department. And we're leasing a car. We had a car that was totaled.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a county-owned car. So we're going to be using $8,000 to pay for a lease of the new car. Okay, I'm going to transfer that to next year, so that's not a problem. Another car had a minor damages, and it was about $4,500 estimate. So we're going to use that to pay for the repair of the car. And I think then we have some environmental health furniture that needs to be purchased. So we're just increasing that line.
Okay. Pretty straightforward. Legislator Crowley.
Through the chair. So have we budgeted for any of these items already in the current budget that we just accepted?
Well, there's some money in some of these lines, yes, but this grant comes around, we usually get the award letter in June or July. So I wait to the end of the year, although so I usually do it in October. It just happened we did it a little late here. And we find out our needs, and we try to go for, add the money for those needs. Does that answer your question?
Will we be seeing, so what like with the office furniture, I guess, did we budget for that in the current budget that we just passed?
Yeah, we budgeted for it.
So will we be seeing that being put back into the line because we're getting it through this grant?
Say again?
Because we already budgeted for it already in the budget that just passed, right, for this furniture?
Yeah, in 24 budget.
In the 24, for 25.
This is for 24.
This is for 24, so you want your, okay, because I'm looking at,
Yeah, this is all for 24.
okay.
That's what I was saying.
I
Usually we do
apologize.
it a
Okay,
couple
I
months
apologize, I
prior.
misunderstood. I was just seeing if there was gonna be an offset in the budget where we would be getting some
Okay.
funds back. I apologize
No,
for
this all has to be
misunderstanding.
paid for this year, but we can get an extension for the lease. I checked that out, so that's okay.
Great, perfect, thank you so much.
Anyone else have questions? Okay, so I will make a motion to approve the budgetary amendment 24A115 for the Health Department for the Local Health Department Performance Incentive Program Award to go to audit.
Second.
All in favor?
Oh, aye.
Okay. And moving on to number 9 is an FYI for a fund transfer for social services.
Do you want to skip to 11:13?
I will,
Get me outta here.
absolutely. Is that
No, Bill, we-
approval to go out of order? I mean, I'd like to make a motion to go out of order. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we're going to go to visit agenda item number 11, which is a fund transfer for the health department for environmental health services overtime through the end of the year, in the amount of $13,140.
Yep. Staff at our environmental health department rotate taking an emergency home phone for non-working hours. They get a paid stipend, which is all budgeted. But this year, and they receive overtime for that. With the increase in rabies cases this year, that's what most of the calls are, a good portion of the calls. There's been more overtime paid out. And also, I did a look at it, and a lot of people are taking overtime as opposed to comp time, which they have in the past. So that's why it's over budget too. So this will take care of it through the end of the year.
Okay. Anybody have questions?
What's the difference with the comp time?
Well, if they take comp time, if they do over, we don't
You
pay
just get
them.
extra time off, but I didn't realize that was an option for your department.
Yeah, we always give that option.
So that is an option, they have to
Yeah.
use it by,
They can just use add to their compensation bank.
Or if they
and
can cash it
when
out.
do they have to cash out by?
They don't have to cash out. I mean, they don't have to cash out till whenever. Some people are just carrying.
Wow.
So it's probably in their best interest to carry it for later, because they're gonna make more money.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
that's,
I didn't realize that was something that was
That's-
afforded to,
yeah.
is it just your department or all
No,
departments?
I believe it's countywide, right?
No, we
You
didn't.
did change
I
it?
thought we did change it.
Expiration.
Yeah, I think I,
It's like a 90-day, 90 or...
It's good that they're
I
taking
haven't
overtime.
seen that, then I would like to see that.
No,
Legislator Crowley.
Through the chair, so the comp time is banked, everybody has a certain amount that they're allowed as per their contract, and what they can do is they can either take it in comp time and use it towards time off, or if they want, they can cash it out at any given time. They could get hired and take as much comp time as their contract allows, and then cash it out at a later date if they choose to, or then use it at a later date.
Yeah, and no, just so you know, I mean, I know what comp time is, but in Westchester, you have to use it by the end of the quarter. You can't carry it over forever,
No,
which is insane.
In the contract of CSCA, I don't know about other contracts.
Well,
but-
mine's a CSA contract, and we have to use it by the end of the quarter, just
Well,
for
they said
something.
they can add up to 240.
Wow.
Keep carrying. You know, if it goes over 240
I
by
would be
December
carrying over
31st,
240, yeah.
it goes to, I think, sick time, or
Yeah.
or it goes away.
I didn't realize, I just thought it was a sheriff's department thing, and doing this for 12 years, I would have thought it would have
Legislator
come
has
up.
to know.
I guess legislator probably will know, Mike Lewis isn't here, but we did give a cutoff date
Yes.
for that.
So, are we talking,
Yeah, because
If you don't mind
it
it,
carry
sure,
over
Legislator Crowley.
Open
for a
discussion.
decade at a time, and you start out as a deputy and now you're a
right,
sergeant.
so there was with the most recent, am I allowed to speak on this?
It's a totally different topic.
I
mean,
Yeah,
just-
I mean, maybe we
just-
should
so
say this
I-
for like
I-
protect,
I
personnel.
just, so generally, everybody was given a time where this year where they had to, their hours were cut down and they were given a payout, and now they have a certain amount of hours that they can encumber.
There's now a maximum.
Yes, there's now a maximum, right, but I don't believe that there is a cutoff for when they have to use it by, for any department. I
Okay, so
could be
maybe I'm
wrong,
mixing those two up.
No, that's the way I read it.
that's what I think.
Yeah, I just think it's apples and oranges. I mean, you know, the police department is a different type of employee, I think.
Because he said he
It's-
never
it's
heard of
every-
it, that's what triggered this
Yeah,
Yes,
conversation.
no,
it's
that's what I
every-
said.
it's
That's
every
what I
unit.
said.
Yeah.
I mean, I have comp time in Westchester, but again, you have to use it by the end of the year. By the end of the quarter. If you don't use it by the end of the quarter, they pay you out, which is nice, but, you know, everybody takes the overtime instead of comp time for that reason.
We can carry this over, conversation over to audit, because we're gonna, this is an FYI that will be signed in audit, so.
I won't bring it up again.
Just bring it up during your contract.
No, I just bring it up during the CSA, I mean, no offense, but that doesn't seem like a right thing to do. I mean, I like the way Westchester does it, I think it's a fair thing. I didn't realize it was everybody.
Yeah, A lot of people have a lot of bank on that.
Yeah,
A lot of
if I was an
compound
employee, I'd be banking it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes total sense.
Well, thank you. That was
There's
an
one more.
FYI.
Do you want to, there's one more.
Oh, do we have another one too? Oh my gosh. I got to turn the page.
If you have any questions.
Sorry about
on
that.
this, yeah.
Well, an emotion to go out of order.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, so 13, we'll go to item number 13, so we can, this is about the rabies again.
So I just mentioned before, the reason EHS overtime is going up is because of the phone use. We administered basically 112 vaccines so far.
Wow.
That's 33 more than 23, and the cost is $347, so that's around $11,000. And this is our second transfer into this line, so that's the money necessary to make it through the end of the year.
Any questions? What's your
One more.
problem?
Are we able to like capture these animals at all, at
Are we
any
what?
time? Are we able to capture these animals when people are bitten?
In most cases, it's attempted,
Yeah.
that's the whole idea, so that you don't have to go through the rabies process.
Right, that's what I was
But,
wondering,
yeah,
if it was like just one of those things. or-
Oftentimes, it's the bat.
Yeah,
comes down,
nobody wants to touch
goes
that.
away.
Can't find them.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, there were a couple of families.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like the families have
Oftentimes,
to
it's
go out and
families
get.
are out in the park,
Yeah.
8 or 10, so. The treatment, that's another line.
Right.
Which I took care of. That's, we work.
It's
with-
extensive treatment.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 50,000 we spent this year, or something on that line. But we budgeted for that, because we know that's gonna happen.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions regarding item number 13? This is also an FYI that will go to be signed at audit.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
That's it for the health department.
Take care.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, so back with item number 9. Back here. Item number 9 is an FYI for a fund transfer for social services for authorized client transport in the amount of $500.
So with the development of the coordinator for individuals with disabilities, we've been utilizing that position to assist people in the community with disabilities that are working. Unfortunately, public transportation does not allow for people with a disability to get to and from work.
Yep.
We are talking to people that are walking for an hour one way. We're talking to people that are spending their own money that they're making at work for cabs. So we have decided as a department to utilize some funds to help them get to and from work and medical appointments where public transportation is unavailable. We all know that that's a lot of Putnam. For somebody with a disability, it's difficult to get to and from a bus pickup location even. So right now, we're keeping it at $500. In the next few months, we're going to be taking a look at some of the contracts that we have with some of our cab companies, because it is astronomical what they're charging for very short distances. But for now, we need to just replenish it so that we can help people get to and from work and appointments.
How many people is this that we?
So
Or
we
do we have-
have spent close to $500 helping only about 4 people. So this is to get us until the end of 2024.
I'm surprised it's so low, because I have somebody in my district, I've helped somebody else in Putnam Valley.
Yeah, these are for the people that we physically can't do it for. So we are also doing that.
Yeah, I've got someone in my district who can't drive, and it's just far enough off of public transportation and the bus route that they can't even qualify for a pickup. And, yeah.
Have them call our office.
I will, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've got a couple like that.
Yeah.
So I'll have them call your office. Legislator Crowley.
Has the pilot program at all helped in Patterson? Have you noticed any change with that running and helping this need, getting to appointments and work
No.
that we have? No, no. And is that something that can be implemented in Patterson to see how that works alongside? Because they are people that are going to appointments, right, that are handicapped or disabled
I
or.
shouldn't say no. Yes, but the amount of people that are devoted to work is amazing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's just too many people. So I don't know that that program would be, I don't know, I'll look into it.
I was just wondering if
Yeah.
once it gets off the ground
Yeah.
in Patterson, if that's something that could be
Expanded.
it's
Yeah.
expanded, yeah, and
I
be
would
something
love-
that would help and continue to help the other municipalities and villages with these types of appointments and needs.
Yeah, I would hope so. I'll take any.
Anyone else have questions? Okay, this is also an FYI.
Yeah,
That's one
so that we
going
had
to audit
to
to
move
sign.
some things around.
So number 10, go to that one, it's also
So we have
FYI.
had, unfortunately, Putnam County has seen a decrease in the amount of foster homes that we have had online. So we have aggressively been recruiting for new foster parents and new foster homes. What was in the budget just didn't allow for us to, I guess, do a marketing campaign that we really need to do. We are desperate is an understatement, for foster homes. So they are, we need to purchase some things that we're able to bring to fairs, to any sort of public event that the staff are going to. So that is that line. We're gonna talk about foster home a little bit further down too. So, Trunk or Treat, the Harvest Fest, we are having, this year on 11/23, we're having a movie screening for Adoption Month Awareness where we rented out one of the movie theaters, and we are inviting former, current, and prospective foster parents to come with their children. Holidays in the park, anything that we're able to go to, we are there. In
That's great.
25, we're looking to get some billboards out,
That's awesome.
If anyone has any suggestions, please reach out to me offline, and would love to hear your ideas, but we have spent a lot of time.
So I think people just get involved in their own lives and they just don't realize that the need is so great and the need is out there. So I think making it more aware will probably at least shine a light, maybe get one or two more foster parents, which could be a lifesaver for a child in need.
Yeah.
Anyone have questions about number 10?
Just have a question.
Legislator Serino.
What is the procedure for vetting foster parents? Is that a whole big process?
It is. It's a lengthy process. Obviously, it starts with going to a Harvest Fest and getting something from one of my staff. Really, it's a lot of going into the home, assessing safety, it's background checks, it's interviews. They have to go through a 6-week training class where it's once a week. So it's exhaustive.
As it should be
Yeah,
done.
absolutely.
Is there a need, is it older children who are more in need for a foster parent, or younger children, or does it just
We've
across the board?
seen, it's just been an increase over the last 2 years, so we're seeing birth to 18.
I was so impressed to go to the adoption for one of the foster kids. That was just so heartwarming and wonderful to see the whole thing. And to see your whole staff there, what a great job they do.
Adoptions are the best day
Yeah,
for my office, so.
yeah. Okay, that's number 10. It is also an FYI that will be signed at audit. We'll move on to item number 12.
So with all of the events that we're going to, obviously we need to pay the staff overtime. So we really only have 2 foster care workers within the department. We do have a larger child welfare services group that will cover events, but everything is on the weekend and in the evening. So same issue, where they're offered comp, but if they prefer overtime, that's what we have to give them. So we just needed to make some funds available for that.
Okay. Anyone have questions regarding number 12, regarding the expenses related to foster home recruitment? Okay, that's also going to audit to be signed. It's an FYI. And item number 14 is also an FYI for social service to reallocate funds within ACL ARPA grant.
So we
That's-
actually withdrew that.
Oh, this one is, I'm gonna make a motion to withdraw this one because this
Perfect.
one has.
Yeah, it's just because the Office for Children and Family Services is closing it and reissuing it. So we'll come back next year to talk about it when it's reissued.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to remove this from the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and with that, we'll move on to number 15, which is other business. We don't have any other business before us tonight, so I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.